Yeah. Yeah. I know they mad for no reason. I'm holding on to change my life. Gotta move fast for a reason. I'm holding on to change my life. Huddling, I'm staring at charts until I retire. Yeah. Huddling, I'm staring at charts until I retire. Oh, 700K, I'm selling a Bitcoin. Haters mad, but they listen to this one. More profit coming to my direction. You know me, I don't need a mention. I got the remedy, ooh, yeah. They don't just follow me, ooh, yeah. You say allegedly, ooh, yeah. You would subscribe to me, ooh, yeah. Staring at chart, drawing a line. Make a decision, you out of time. Huddling, I'm staring at charts until I retire. Yeah, huddling, I'm staring at charts until I retire. Yeah, see on stage, OnChain Revolution. Youngest, boom.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire crypto ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. That was a lie. We have a good show for you guys today. There's not much to talk about. I'm just trying our best out here, guys. Right now, it really is one of the worst times in crypto. I mean, in the sense of people being here. There's not a lot of people here. There's no projects dropping news. There's no big scandals or anything like that happening that's kind of even worth talking about. It's very similar to how I felt in 2022 after the Luna crash, after BlockFi went down. I'm talking right before, you know, SBF and stuff like that, and then even after SBF and all the FTX stuff. So it's really dead. It's so weird too, because like I do feel like we're gonna get bullish like in the next couple weeks, couple months, but it's just everyone's just kind of touching grass. I mean, I think we pushed out so hard on everyone. Everyone just like forgot about crypto at this point. It's just one of those things where there's so much innovation happening, especially coming from TradFi to the crypto ecosystem. But there's just not much participations. There's no one using dApps. There's no one really participating in DeFi right now, besides the big whales with a lot of money. There's no one really buying ordinals, putting out mints. There's nobody creating NFT projects. It's just like the worst time in the sense of participation, but that could be a bottom signal. It actually is a bottom signal, in my opinion. We have companies kind of going out of business, blockchains wrapping things up. And it's just everything is pointing to this is the worst of the worst. It can't get worse than this. I mean, besides like Bitcoin being hacked, it really can't really get worse than it is right now. You have BlackRock, selling Bitcoin. You have Binance selling Bitcoin. I have a conspiracy theory as to why, but Binance won't let up on the sell pressure. But I'm going to keep that to myself. I'm not going to put that out there. But yeah, I'm just paying attention. I want to find the 100Xs. I want to find the 1000Xs, but I think I have them, right? I think I do. I think, the stuff I have in my portfolio, I just got to wait. I just got to hold. Trying to find something new right now is, in my opinion, kind of pointless. We got to wait for momentum. We got to wait for news. We got to wait for a lot of, KOLs to kind of get back and start doing their research and stuff like that. So, but it is what it is, guys. We're going to do our best today. So appreciate you guys watching each and every day. But let's get the show started. Bring on my partner here, as always, Mr. Iago B. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
What's up, man? I hope I wasn't too
Debbie Downer.
Debbie Downer, but what can I can only be as positive as the stuff I see, and I don't see no positivity right now.
Yeah, I mean, it is tough to find stuff, right? To even just to talk about, right? I mean, there's stuff happening, but it's almost majority of it's a negative story, exactly. Right? Whether that's KDA or conspiracy theories, which I absolutely love. We could start a whole new channel on that and go through that. But that's what it's come down to, is really trying to figure out like what's going on. And I think that's why you came up with that awesome theory that's happening right now with Binance and stuff. But that I feel what you're saying. But we got to show up every day like we do. Put our boots on. And to the audience that shows up every day, man, kudos to you guys. Need a big shout out, because this is our living. We do this every single day. For you guys, obviously, a lot of you guys work full time, or and you guys choose to listen to us. So we appreciate y'all. But yeah, man, let's get into what I guess we have to get into, which is the,
well,
doing
the
our
comments
best.
are coming in right now. So shout
Yeah,
out
for
to
sure.
my man Ryan Bolin, really keeping today's show up. He's like, "What's up, dude? Appreciate you." Stan's here. Appreciate Stan. Crypto fatigue. Ryan says, "Yup, I got him too. I agree. We're already accumulated those just watching to see that take place." And he said that would be a great second channel for you guys. I mean, it might happen. And that Crypto Decoded says Base Chain has been on fire. We actually have some news coming up about us and Base Chain, but we're going to save that to a later date. But really excited to potentially start covering that a little bit more than we have.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's kind of get into the topic of the day. Friday, Shockwave incoming. Bitcoin and crypto on the edge of a massive breakout or breakdown. So tomorrow we get CPI. There's a lot of other stuff happening. But what's your take on this big tech? Almost shockwave coming tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah. So we also have to remember that there's Trump is speaking today, and so that could have some influence on tomorrow as well, because it's going to be later in the day. But CPI data comes out. There is every Friday, right? You have the futures and options expirations, so that can make Bitcoin volatile, right? You got exchanges like the CME group that could really, those are large positions, right? So, and they want Bitcoin to swing one way or the other. And so with those two variables, it could swing one way or the other, right? I think CPI data is one of those things that, unless it's really dramatic, it's pretty, we handle that pretty well now, right? As long as it's not a dramatic pull up or pull back or whatever. So let's see what happens with that. But also another thing too, it seems like Powell is more focused on the employment statistics versus CPI data as much, but obviously if it's drastic, it's going to catch his attention. So those are the type of things, and the thing with Bitcoin is that, it started to rally last week, and then we had the tweet, right? Or 2 weeks ago. And then we had the tweet, and it hasn't really got that momentum back again. The trenches were heating up as well. And even after that big dump last Friday or the Friday before, the trenches started heating up as Bitcoin was slowly recovering, right? And then again, it dumps. And so that's what the problem is. We've talked about this many times on the show, that momentum has been our biggest enemy, because we can't catch consistent, right, momentum, that or persistent, I should say. It's not continuous. And whether it's a tweet or some sort of major headline with China, we always get chopped at the knees when we start to feel really good.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely agree with you. In the sense of, what the CPI tomorrow's data, I think it is going to be drastic. I think it's going to be drastic to the side of, showing inflation really coming in, because I was watching CNBC this morning and they were basically saying that it's new people doing the CPI than normal. That's why it was pushed back. And they're only doing the CPI. They're not doing the PPI. They're not doing the other one. So I'm actually thinking tomorrow we might see like 2% inflation. It might actually hit Jerome Powell's target. But then he was saying also, the guy on CNBC was saying that potentially when the government reopens, that number could get fixed to the real. But tomorrow could be very manipulated, in the sense of this might be a Trump situation who is I don't know. I'm actually hoping to manipulate. I mean, we've seen manipulation this entire last 3 months. Let's keep it going. Let's manipulate this market down to like 1.7% inflation, right? Lower than Jerome expects.
Yeah, well, if it does get manipulated and is at that 2%, then he can't really say too much about needing to go further, right? He's hit his goal.
Yeah.
And I think someone at his age and his position, sure, he makes a lot of money. He's probably has a lot of pride in what he does. And so whenever you hit a goal like that, I'm sure he's going to feel good, even if it's manipulated or whatever. So maybe he'll be in a good mood and lean in towards quantitative easing, because we know that is really whenever the signal, I guess, to the public that they're going into a little bit more risk on.
Yeah, 100%. And like they're not going to do quantitative easing on Wednesday at the Fed meeting, but they will potentially do the pausing. So, but the markets are forward looking. Once you pause, the market's head is already easing. They're already eased, right? Like, so we're gonna get that big buy pressure of, oh wow, they're gonna start printing money, and we could see potential. We could start flying up. We could see, with the Fed coming in and quantitative easing starting, they're gonna come in. They're gonna start buying bonds out of the market, which is going to make the bondholders' yields kind of go down, right? Because you have buyers, and then what happens is the bondholders that get into stocks, the people that are in stocks are going to make money. They're going to get into even riskier and riskier, whether that's they'll get into stuff that's in the Russell or even crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, which
Meme
I
stocks.
technically think meme stocks too. You never know, right? That's money needs to flow somewhere, and when risk is on, it's time. It's crypto's time to shine. But then you see quantitative easing also brings the DXY down, because now new money is going to come into the system. Supply and demand says we need to come down at 96, 95, and then we know my bull market starts.
Yeah, no, I agree. We got Ryan Boylan. He's asking, do you think maybe we get an emergency rate cut? I don't think so, right? Because are we in that situation? I mean, the economy, to be honest, I've heard a lot of people, feel like it's shaky. But emergency rate cuts, I feel like those come with huge, events like COVID and stuff like that. But I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, emergency rate cuts, they've only happened twice. They happened, I think, March 13th of 2020 and September 3rd of 2008. And we both know what happened in 2020 and 2008, right? We had the housing crash in 2008, and we had COVID and things. So, I mean, without that happening, but both times we went from 2% to 0% and 3% in 2008 to 0%. So that was the cut. It was immediately just like flush, right? So they came in heavy and bought bonds out of the market very quickly. And they went from, I think those are the two times they went from a tightening cycle to an easing cycle. It was just emergency turn on, right? So we have, I mean, unless they see something that we don't, I just can't say it.
Yeah. Well, he followed up with this statement too. He says, "You never know what Trump has up his sleeves." I agree with that. So that's the thing, is that he knows that 2026 is a huge, year, right? Because that's whenever you have the what is it called? The election, the midterm elections. Is that what it is? Yeah. To where, right now the Republicans have the entire government in terms of the majority, right? And so how do you make the public happy? You make them feel rich, even if, just give them a little extra money, or make them feel like they can have access to more capital and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely something that could happen.
Yeah, 100%. All right. And anything else for tomorrow? I know we have some stuff that is happening. Anything worth talking about for tomorrow?
Yeah, just the what is it? The futures and options expiring, right?
Yeah.
So like I mentioned before, it can lead to like price volatility. And I don't think that's probably talked about enough in our space in terms of the options expiration, right? So every Friday it does expire, right? And sometimes it's more aggressive towards the end of the month. And we're not there at the end of the month, so I'm not too sure how aggressive it's going to be, but there's going to be more like on-chain and institutional activity. So that's something to watch out for, right? And whales love to play that game. They love to anticipate and take on-chain leverage with Hyperliquid, just knowing how much open interest is in the options market as well, right? So just something to look out for tomorrow, and then also the CPI. So that's where they both can kind of butt heads, and then see if maybe we get good CPI data, and then the options market needs it to flow one way. Hopefully it'll be kind of that same way to the upside. So we might have Bitcoin having actually aggressive upside tomorrow, but that's, just me speculating on at a high level. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully that's the case. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got for tomorrow.
Yeah, man. So we do have Bitcoin just below 110 right now. So we are seeing a little bit push up for Bitcoin, up 2%, while ETH's only up 1.5. So is this me being like a little scared right now when I see Bitcoin going to 110? I just feel like it's just for them to short it more. You know what I mean? I'm just in a mindset right now. Every time we go up, it's just an opportunity for them to short.
Yeah. So, I think we need to start paying attention to those people that open big positions. Honestly,
Yeah.
I know people get frustrated with that, but like, it's like, fool me once, a shame on me, fool me twice, or fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Right. It's like, it's been like at least 2-3 times where someone's come in with big positions. Now we haven't seen that. I think the only thing that you were able to research maybe was that there was a smaller position on someone that has been pretty accurate, and that was more to the upside. So
yeah, he's been making like a couple million here and there, but he's only using like 14 million. But what I've started doing is so I found Hyperscan, but it seems to be pretty cool. You can kind of come here and kind of see what the people are actually shorting or longing and stuff, and then you can kind of click their wallet address, and it'll actually take you to this page. You can actually go to perps, and you can kind of see what they're in.
yeah,
Which is pretty cool. So this is kind of something that I've been doing. I just go to the value, and this guy he has the biggest trade right now. I don't know what he's in, which is really weird, but yeah. So
yeah.
okay, here we go. We got some perp stuff going on. No, but yeah, just kind of checking it out on Hyperscan.
Hyperscan. What is it?
IO.
Hyperscan.io. Okay, cool. I'm
Yeah,
gonna definitely
and it's
bookmark that.
per like PURR. So it's HYPURR scan.io.
Okay, cool. Cool. I mean, I feel like it's getting to a point to where it's kind of like Polymarket, right? So you utilize Polymarket if it's getting down to the expiration of that that specific opportunity or bet, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
Polymarket is pretty accurate. If there's a good 85%, then it goes one way. If someone comes out of nowhere, puts in a huge short, Trump's supposed to speak or something's supposed to happen. I think we got to start taking those cues, man. I'm not saying use that only, do your research on that, but it's happened multiple times and it's gone that way.
100%. Yeah, man. I mean, we'll see. But we do have some news today. U.S. national debt has reached $38 trillion for the first time ever. We're expecting to be at 40 trillion in June, 39 trillion in March. How do you feel about how much every 3 months is $1 trillion of debt?
Yeah.
Pretty wild to think about.
I just thought about this guy that was on TikTok and he was like, yo, hey, look, let's check it out. So the US economy is in like $35 trillion in debt. He's like, look, I'm gonna sacrifice myself. Let me take that debt. Put that debt on me, and we can prosper. I will take that debt for you guys. He's like, who do we even owe that debt to? Who does the US owe that? I will owe it to them. Just put it on me. And it's funny because you got to kind of laugh at that. Obviously, it's a serious situation because it just continually increases. But I mean, like 38 trillion, dude, like what? I mean, I don't know what to think about that except for like how, right? Like how. I'll tell you this though: if Trump was to eliminate that in 2 years, he'd probably go down as the best president ever. Which obviously he can't do that.
Yeah. So that's one thing I hate, like on TikTok and just like watching people or just morons, right? When they say, "Oh, who do we owe that money to? Thanos? We owe that." Like, it's because we create these things called bonds, and the bonds are a way for the government to kind of sell debt. So basically, what happens is we create this bond, let's just say for $1 trillion, and then we put it on the market for someone to buy it at 6 to 8% yield. So then someone comes in with a lot of money, let's just say $200 billion, and they buy bonds up, whether that's an entity or a single person, and now we owe that person who bought that debt. Like, the government just doesn't print money; they actually issue the debt first. Somebody comes in and buys the debt, and then we use that money. So it's not like we don't owe it to anybody. We owe it to the people who are coming and buying these bonds because they buy them for the yield, because the government has never defaulted on their debt. So they're like, oh yeah, I can buy $1 billion worth of debt and then I get 8% on that. That's a win for me. I don't got to do anything else. I can live off that 8%.
Yeah, what it equates to is a business that has a ton of customers that is constantly coming and buying from them, but they're using their American Express business black card constantly and asking for limit increases, and they get them,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so, but then all they have to do is every month is pay that interest, for the credit card, and they can continually have that account in good standing, right? So that's what it equates to, except for like eventually like the credit card company will be like, yo bro, like this is like too much.
Not when you
Well,
have 8%, or not when you have a perfect score and you
sure.
always paid your debt, right? And that's the thing too, is like, so our interest payment is bigger than the military budget. The military budget was the biggest bill. Now it is the interest payment has become the biggest bill for the US taxpayer.
So we did get downgraded from the international credit though. We
That is
did
true.
to one
So
level,
now we're
but
750, right?
yeah, so maybe 700. But again, I agree with you. Like the credit card probably won't stop, especially if you can prove your income. And that's the thing that the US has been able to do constantly is they're like, look at our GDP, look at our GDP and all these things. So it's like, but it's so crazy because you look at that habit, right, or that way of living, and it trickles down to the everyday American. It's like how Americans actually live their lives on credit. We are a country of credit, and at the end of the day, that has to catch up, right? So I mean, I guess it has. We're at $38 trillion in debt.
Well, we're going to get to a point where I saw someone talking. They said by the year 2040, we're going to be at like $1 trillion a month. If this continues. I mean, right now we're at $1 trillion every 3 months. So like it's, you know what I mean? So it's just, we're just going to keep printing and printing and printing. And, and especially when the dollar value goes down, but it's a benefit to the United States that the dollar goes down because it's less you know what I mean? If they value it in gold, they owe less, right? So it's like, it really depends on how you value it. So if you value it in dollar to dollar, it's more, but if you value it, if you're holding gold, and you can just, hey, we just sell our gold. If the U.S. sold all their gold today at today's prices, they could pay down all the debt. But then there's nothing back in the dollar, which there isn't nothing back in the dollar. So I don't get why they should just do it. Give China all your gold and say we have zero debt. Like I don't. Now they can start the debt process over again.
Yeah, and then they can build the value of the dollar through what they're trying to do with the stable coins backed by treasury bonds and the dollar, right? So
100%. So you mentioned earlier, White House the White House says President Trump will make an announcement at 3 p.m. No one knows what this announcement was. Last time he made an announcement, the markets dumped. Binance lost everything. I mean, they lost their Oracle. They just complete. So I don't know what today's announcement is going to be about. But Trump is somebody who values his success by the way the stock market, crypto market looks. And the stock market is at near an all-time high. Crypto market is really in trouble though, so maybe he comes out to help us.
well, the thing is, the stock market is good, like for the rich people that have like S&P and the top 5 stocks, but it's like really tough for the people that probably like to gamble a little bit with the more risk on stocks and stuff, which but I have an idea of what it might be about. So have you ever had a Mexican cola before?
It's amazing. I hear though it's really
they use real cane sugar. They use real cane sugar that like you get from like the cane sugar plants, and you process it. And I don't know, man. I have a feeling that like Trump is about to force Coca-Cola to make all the Cokes around the world with that same process. Stop using corn syrup.
I will be banning corn syrup. We will no longer be using corn syrup in the United States.
Maha, baby, Maha.
Yeah, and you see Kennedy hit the stage like, I'm a real American.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, we gotta do this. We gotta entertain you guys. Have some fun, right? But that is a true thing. I think he's pushing for real cane sugar colas. You brought that up to me.
Yeah, I mean that's some of the news I saw. He wants to eliminate corn syrup. I think it's being pushed by Kennedy, but we'll see. Eric Trump predicts we will reach 200,000 by the end of the year and 1 million in the future. Let's get into my conspiracy theory. Obviously, this is just me thinking, right? So, I have a feeling Binance went to Eric Trump and said, "Hey, you know how we've been dumping Bitcoin and Ethereum for the last like 6 months nonstop every single day? We'll stop if you pardon CZ." And Eric's probably just like, he's not in jail. I'm like, yeah, we want his record cleaned. And that is something that Trump's considering doing. He's actually considering pardoning CZ. Do you think the bull run doesn't start until CZ is pardoned?
That's such a specific conspiracy that I feel like I'm not like I haven't like you know what I mean, like the ones that I like think about a lot. So, I
This
mean,
isn't much as a conspiracy theory as much as it's like, do it or don't do it. But if you want a bull run,
well, I mean, I think
do
it's a
it.
conspiracy theory, but it's not one of those crazy ones like aliens has visited, you know, that's or whatever. So, but I mean, it could be at the end of the day, you know, I do know for a fact, just being half Asian myself, that like, you know, reputation is a huge thing in the Asian cultures. And so, you know, maybe he feels slighted for that whole experience and he wants his record clean, like you mentioned in the pre-show. And if that's the case, man, that's a power move. I'll tell you that. Because it would be like, you know, look, we can turn this on whenever you want. But I just feel like that would feel very like malicious in a way.
Mafia. I mean,
Yeah,
we called
I
them
know,
mafia, right?
but yeah, but you
This
mafia
isn't the
other
first time.
you mafia other people that are like in your like industry, not governments, not one
Well,
the most powerful government in the US, right? Because
Eric Trump is in the industry.
he is, but you know, it's also kind of blackmailing or trying to have something over, like, you know, I just don't like personally, I don't think he would do that because I feel like he would probably be a little nervous about it because he knows like what could happen if they flipped it on him later. You know what I mean? What, like, yeah, sure, we'll pardon you, or and then you know they hold that as a grudge and they try to get him back for something later. You know what I mean? So I don't think that's the case, but I love the conspiracy theory because it makes for a good conversation.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, though, is they say now that Trump is, you know, majority crypto, right? Like they say he made like $800 million this year already in crypto, and his net worth is like 3 or 4 billion, right? So he's made like 25% of his net worth already. They can hold this forever. They can just be like, hey, anytime you're trying to get one of our guys, we're going to dump. We're just going to dump the crypto markets. Like, you need us now. Like, you know, scratch our back, we'll scratch yours. We'll send this thing to Valhalla. We'll create the most wealth that you've ever seen in your life. All you got to do is pardon CZ.
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like that would put such a big target on their backs, though. You know what I mean? Binance is back, and then like they'll be like, no one is above the law, and then like the SEC will come out and just be like, okay, you can't trade in the United States anymore, and all these things. And I mean, I don't know.
You
I
already
feel like,
can't, though.
yeah, I mean, like I feel like that would be such a hard angle to get what he wants out of that because it's like you have to make the perfect move. You can't be very direct with it. I don't think you can be direct with that. You know what I mean? Because you know these are really powerful people, and you know they're prideful too. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, you know, you threaten me. Do you know who I am? I'm the son of the president. You know what I mean? Or whatever. You know? And so I feel like that would be tough, but there has to be some sort of explanation of why Binance seems to be, you know, and I've seen it in multiple posts on my timeline. There's multiple people that feel like Binance has majority control of the markets right now, right? And so why wouldn't they flip the switch, right? So I agree. There has to be some sort of explanation for this.
I mean, Binance sending the winter mute every day for the last like 3 or 4 months. I mean, it's got to be something, right? I just can't like. So Binance will make money, a lot of money, if we had a bull market. People coming in, buying coins. You know what I mean? Like, they'll make tons of money. I just don't see why they're just trying to get rid of all their Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. It just doesn't make any sense. That's the only thing that kind of resonates to me. And it's only Binance, right? We did see Coinbase join a little bit the other day, but like it's mainly Binance.
Yeah.
But Ryan Bolin says great breakdown for us about the bonds. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that about the bonds. They think we just print money. In reality, we just create these bonds, these debts, and people buy them. But yeah, man. Rick G says, long live OnChain Revolution. Long live Rick G. Appreciate you, my friend. And then Chief Access
Rick
here today,
G.
too. Tim Baker says Canton Network is something to keep an eye on. I haven't looked at Canton. I saw it on my timeline though. And then says, good time to buy Spark Eagle. Don't buy those tokens. The UTXO, don't buy those. There's going to be so many better tokens to buy that aren't going to be 50% of supply held by like 3 people, right? So let's move along here though. All right, so Coinbase, Brian Armstrong says there is something bipartisan support to pass the Bitcoin and crypto market structures. Another thing that could really send us up. He says the market structure bill should be finished by the end of this year. We do know that the banks are getting involved right now, trying to push no yield on stablecoins pretty heavily, even though because they're not allowed to, with the Stablecoin Act, they're not allowed to offer, so they don't want anyone else offering either. Brian Armstrong's like, we're not a bank. We can offer this.
Yeah. I hope that, I hope that he continually has influence on stuff like this, right? But also I want to make sure that it is truly bipartisan, because the problem is like the Senate is where, okay, the way that the House and Senate works, even if like right now the Republicans, everybody thinks that just because the Republicans have majority in House, Senate, and they hold the presidency, that they should be able to pass everything. There's a checks and balances whenever that situation happens, and that is you have to get a certain number of votes from the Democrat side in the Senate, right? So that's what the minority has to have some sort of voice, right? And so that's why things get stuck up there, and that's hence the government shutdown right now, right? But to me, whenever they tried to sneak stuff into the crypto bill that was completely pro banking industry, like it was to like shut a lot of things down, kind of take us back to the Biden situation, and they came in and they're like, no, what the heck is this, right? So to me, I feel like there's still people on that side, whether it's Elizabeth Warren or some of these other, Chuck Schumer, whoever it is, Hakeem Jeffries, that is not pro crypto, and whether they're getting lobbied by the banking institutions or whatever it is, we got to make sure that that's not like stuff isn't sneaked in, and Brian Armstrong is going to make sure that happens. He actually caught that before too, so they're watching very carefully, which is a great thing, because we need those eyes in Washington, because I'll tell you what, man, they will sneak stuff in to try to, with this, they're trying to negotiate basically with the Republicans to get the government going again, and that was one of the things they try to sneak in. They're little dirties for trying to do that.
Yeah, 100%. I think Brian Armstrong is like perfect person for this, right? CEO of a company that is publicly traded. You can't mess with him, right? Like, he has all the money in the world, basically, right? He's sitting on like, I think $36 billion. He owns a part of Circle. He's just somebody who is all in, right? He's all in. And when I say he has like 36 billion, he barely has any cash at all. Most of his everything he has is locked up in stock, right, and stuff like that. So he's somebody who's going to benefit from Coinbase doing good things, doing amazing things for the world, right? I think enabling people to earn 4% yield on their stablecoins is something that we've never seen before. Our entire lives were, if your money in the bank earns 0.002%, like what the hell is that? You can't. They had yields in the 70s, like good ones, 2%, 3%, but that went away when the banks got greedy. And this is putting the hands back into people again, saying, hey, you can earn on your stables now.
Yeah, I mean, the banking institutions it's the industry that absolutely hates everything that's happening right now, like the centralized banks and stuff. I mean, the ones that are being smart and really adopting it, saying, look, man, I'm not going to sit here and boycott with you this entire time, and then we all lose, right? So because new banks are going to come out that are completely digital friendly, and they'll take our spots. And so that's why I think that it's important, like you mentioned, for him to be there, and not just him. There's a couple of people I know. The CEO from Kraken is involved in many things, and the Gemini twins, they're in there as well, right? So, I think we got the right people in the right places to make sure that stuff like that is legit and not being snuck in terms of controlling us, our industry.
Yeah, 100. All right, moving along. Coinbase now open for everyone, US to apply. So now the Coinbase credit card, where you can earn 4% cash back in Bitcoin. Yesterday we talked about the Gemini card. You're able to earn XRP. And what was the other one? We just talked about it.
Bitcoin.
It wasn't Ethereum. What? No. It was XRP and Solana. Remember for the Gemini? I think it was
Oh,
like 2 years
Gemini.
ago.
The other, yeah. Sorry.
So for this one, you're able to earn Bitcoin from the Coinbase. So Gemini's going a different route, but this is amazing. I was thinking about this, right? So Bitcoin is about $110,000 right now. So somebody who spends $10.1 million on this credit card, let's just say, over time they just let's just say 2 year span, they potentially can earn a whole Bitcoin off just using the credit card, just for buying things that they want to buy. Right.
Yeah.
And there is rich people that will probably have have unlimited credit on this card, and they can just go buy a house, let's just say for $10 million, and then just be like, oh, I got a free Bitcoin for it though.
Yeah, I think perfect opportunity is a business owner that puts a lot of their expenses on their card every month, and they pay it off. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because you're going to earn that percentage, right? And you don't have to pay the interest on it, right? And so then you just build up Bitcoin that way, right? And so I mean, there's multiple businesses that will spend, even if you're like a smaller, medium-sized business, some of them will spend 100K a month, right? So you get that percentage over time as Bitcoin increases in value. You're setting up the future of your business and yourself, right? So I think it's a brilliant move to be able to have a Coinbase credit card for business expenses and for regular expenses as well. But business, man, I feel like that's just like that's a flywheel in a sense.
Yeah. 100%. Like every $110,000 you spend, you get 0.0037, right? Every time. Spend 100 grand, you get 0.337. It's not that one day, that 0.37, let's just say in 20, 30 years from now, that could be worth the 100K, right? Like it really could. So it's just one of those things where it depends on, your mindset of how big Bitcoin's going to get. Because I mean, Michael Saylor said it. He said thinks this is a $200 trillion asset, and if that's the case, that's a 200x from where it is today.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think it's actually stupid to not do that. To not, especially the business side of that I just broke down. I think it's just such a smart thing and personal too. So
yeah, screw airplane miles, get some Bitcoin.
Right.
But so I jump to the next thing here. So Meteora, they just launched their coin yesterday called Met. It's now live. Jupiter, Moonshot, Phantom, pretty much everywhere. OKX, Sexes go live at 2 p.m. UTC, which I think we already passed that. So they're live now. What do you think about this token? You're bullish on it. I'll just give my opinion real quick. So I'm thinking this is going to be one of the majors, the top 50 coins, in the next couple of years. This Jupiter, I think this is pretty much going to be a legit buy in my opinion. But I love to hear your opinion.
Yeah, I agree too. I actually saw it being traded early this morning, and it started at 820 million, and last time I looked, it dropped to like 600 million. But I agree. I think this is one of those infrastructure type situations that I'm sure that they're going to use revenue to kind of do some sort of rebuy purchasing type of thing. They make a ton of revenue with their LPs, right? That's their main deal. And so if they can, they launched a couple of different launch pads as well. Because I think what they're trying to do is like, hey, look, if we get a popular launch pad, then that will just increase the revenue that we can make. So they're already providing a lot for people that they make their revenue from. But yeah, one thing I think Solana is probably going through this cycle is something that Ethereum went through last cycle. Ethereum last cycle was the place that started off trading meme coins with Shiba Inu, doing a lot of degen activity there, NFT world, et cetera. Then you move to BSC and all that stuff, right? But now you look at the infrastructure players over on Ethereum. You got the Aves, you got the Curve finances, you got all these kind of legacy. And when I say legacy, I'm saying that like they're just OGs, right? They're still very, they're operating, daily and do very good volumes and all these things, but they're kind of in the background saying we don't we don't really care about all the crazy noise. We're here to kind of support institutions or large accounts or anybody really that wants to do anything. But, we want business in a professional way. And I think that some of these infrastructure plays are kind of, for Solana, are like how they were in 2021 for Ethereum. So we move forward. Let's say we're in 2027. Solana could be in a similar place to where Ethereum is now, to where, okay, these are the places to go for yield here. These are, institutions trusting more. And you're seeing the institutional interest, by the way, with Solana. You're seeing tons of USDC being ported over here. And so isn't that interesting, though? If you think about it, it's like the next up and coming, it's like, okay, let's have fun playing like casino games for this cycle, and then next cycle maybe we're gonna be more serious. I don't know if that's the case. This is speculation on my part, but do you see a possibility of that?
Yeah, 1,000,000%, right? So what normally happens though is like let's just say you have a store, right? Like you create a storefront, and at first you're just selling soda and candy, but eventually you start selling bigger items, right? Because people are coming in and they're like, oh wow, what do you guys have here? So
Amazon.
it's like exactly like they started with books, and now they're selling. I mean, I think I have 9 packages in my front door right now, right? Of all different types of crazy shit. I don't even know what she's buying, but it's just like one of those things where everything kind of starts off in a small way where it's like, hey, this is a meme coin launchpad, this is fun, there's degens here, but then what's that do? That creates TVL, that creates user base, and when there's user base, people start building there, like Meteora, like Jupiter, like Radium, like so it's kind of like, all right, now these stuff, you're seeing the people use them, you're seeing everything kind of looks good in the sense of, wow, these are the powerhouses right now. And we saw that, to your point. I think you hit the nail on the head there perfectly. I think we are seeing last cycle's Ethereum blue chips, Aave, Morpho, MakerDAO, all the big ones are now, you're actually seeing that same exact scenario happen on Solana with Meteora and Radium and even Orca, I would say, right? So it's pretty cool to say.
Yeah, and Jupiter as well, and
Jupiter, yeah.
some others that we probably don't know too much about right now, but we'll see if that is kind of the playbook, right? Of once we get into next cycle of, are these institutions self-sustaining, and are they creating new business? You see that with Aave having the fully decentralized offering, and now saying, hey, we popped up a more of a centralized offering that we can kind of do custodial things for institutions and large accounts, right? That need that extra I guess safety, feeling of safety or whatever, not familiar with using decentralized applications and stuff, right? So it's interesting because we're gonna see that for next cycle, and those will be the winners, for infrastructure winners.
Yep. I hear you 100%. All right, Kadena organization leveraged their KDA. So this is interesting. So if this did happen, this is just a rumor, right? This is just a rumor mill. I do not know if this is true or not, but it's an interesting scenario. Kadena organization leverages their KDA, right? Let's just say this happened. We know a couple projects that they borrowed against their token, and it's like, all right, cool. This is how we can sustain our workflow. This is how we can sustain our paying our employees. We'll just our runway. We will potentially borrow against our token. Well, what happened on October 10th was everything got liquidated. You saw a line. So if they do it in a decentralized way, those tokens are gone. Boom, gone, right? And what that decentralized protocol does, they immediately sell them tokens into the market as well, just trying to recoup any bit of the loan they can. So let's just say Kadena's sitting there now, they have no more tokens, or 90% of their tokens are gone, right? So what's the plan? For almost 2 weeks, they pretend everything is okay, everything is fine. Meanwhile, they open huge leverage shorts, monstrous ones with everything they have left, post about seizing operations, what happened 2 days ago, nuke the chart to zero, make it all back. Just business.ex. So obviously, again, this is just a rumor. We do not know if this is true, but it does make sense if it was.
Yeah, it does if it was true, and we don't know if it is or not, obviously. But what a great theory, because that sounds like taking advantage of opportunity, right? Well, trying to
Bro.
take advantage of an initial opportunity and then getting completely smoked and then saying, oh my God,
What do we
honestly,
do?
if that was the case, like completely, horrible people for doing that, but impressive to quickly think on their feet that quick to oh crap, okay, now, well, I guess it wasn't that quick because if you look at it, it was about a week and a half, right, in
2
time
weeks, yeah.
from 2 weeks from that Friday. So still, I mean, and then ballsy for sure. I mean, goodness gracious, but not good people, not good
Yeah.
people. If that's what they did. But then what happens, right? They make their losses back and they just ride off into the sunset. I guess that's what they would have to do, unless
Well,
they got
launder
caught.
the money. They're gonna have to launder the money, right? Because if they use Hyperliquid to do these shorts, right? So they got to launder the money to themselves, and then just potentially they make hundreds of millions of dollars, right? And just ride off in the sunset, or use that money to create an alias and come back, start a new blockchain, right? Like I don't, you know what I mean? But Kadena, like honestly though, Kadena wasn't going anywhere. It was one of those old, it seemed to me anyway, like old tech. You had people DCAing it. You still had a community behind it. So they didn't want to do anything to hurt the community, but they were done. They had zero ammo left. They gave up. They gave up on it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, well, they did hurt the community tremendously, right? With that dump down, the announcement, and then what's the market cap at right now? Is it
0.7. So it's like 20 million.
okay? So it's got 20 million going back down from I think 4 billion or something like that. So
Yeah.
so it's unfortunate. I wonder if anybody tried to hurry up and run and take a short that were actually a part of the community.
Well, not the community, but I got another post here. Another guy with like 200, what's the guy? 137,000 followers. He says, massive scandal unfolding. Convenient employees caught red-handed, shorting their own token with leverage right before a major announcement. I've seen the proof. Multiple exchanges involved. We're talking tens of millions in profit here. What happened to the integrity of crypto? What integrity in crypto?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't know if there was any integrity, but I mean, there's integrity with certain people, yes. But as a whole for the industry, I mean, everybody always says there's no crying at the casino. There's a reason why that's a saying here, right?
Yeah.
Now, do I think that needs to change? Absolutely, but what are the options? What are the options? And I think until we have good options, people are going to keep saying no crying at the casino.
100%.
But that's proof, right? That was proof that at least the employees were doing.
Well, he says he has proof. This guy, Lovren Crypto. So again, I'm only reading tweets here. I'm just finding tweets. I don't know if this is true. Don't get mad at me if it's not true. I'm just saying I'm speculating on what people are tweeting out there. And I mean, if it's true, damn.
Yeah.
So another project shut down today. DeFi project Money is shutting down post exploit. So they had an exploit last week and they can't recover from it. So you are seeing that kind of suck. And this is a DeFi protocol pretty sure I've seen it on Phantom, and I think it's on Base and Ethereum as well. But another one bites the dust here. So
another one bites the dust. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to continue your runway if you didn't raise enough money and you didn't manage it properly. And for the builders that are still building that didn't raise money, they must have like pretty good revenue, right? And so congrats to them. But and honestly, congrats to the ones that did raise the money and then manage their runway, because that's a hard thing to do too, especially whenever you have expectations for different parts of the year, which none I'm sure were hit really. But yeah, I mean, the smaller ones, because I didn't know who they were. Maybe they were bigger than I think, but I feel like some of the smaller ones are going to start falling off a bit here and there. The ones that are larger and had that skill set of managing runway, they should be able to sustain. But once they start to fall down, I think we're in a problem situation. But again, I don't think a lot of that comes to light until maybe 2026. But we'll see.
Yeah, man. We'll see for sure. Let's jump into today's crypto fear and greed. I don't even want to read this number. Last week we were at 32. Yesterday we we're at 29. Today I'm just gonna give it to you. We're at 28, and it's effing depressing.
28
in October, to be in October and seeing 28, seeing fear. We didn't see 90 all year. We didn't see 90 all year. Maybe in January, maybe I doubt it. But
January.
like we haven't, yeah, because everything was hot. January, the first week of January.
Oh,
Second week of January.
I thought you were saying upcoming January is when we would see it. I
No,
was like,
no.
no.
No. I'm saying like we haven't
Yeah.
seen a 90 all year, except maybe the first week of January. But this is damn right depressing.
Yeah, well, that was a fake 90, by the way, because if you
Yeah.
remember, like a couple weeks later, everybody got wrecked. We all went into AI and we're like, we're early because it's only been running for like a month. No, it's over. Trump is here. Trump coin took
Yeah.
everything out. But yeah, it doesn't feel good. It's October 23rd. I mean, I would think at least by mid-October we'd be rocking and rolling. But I'm not giving up. Not yet. No.
All right, let's get into the price action, because that at the end of the day, that's bullish right now. So let's kind of get into that. So Bitcoin
For
price
now.
action and crypto bubbles. Let's get into it. Brought to you guys by nobody. If somebody does want to sponsor the Bitcoin price action, let us know. We can add you on there. But
Yeah. Before we get into the price action, guys, help us out on the YouTube side. Smash that like, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. On the X side, let's share the space and get everybody in here, right? That is the goal, is to onboard as many people to the crypto industry and space. But yeah, let's get into some Bitcoin price action. So I'm not going to try to get like overly bullish, because I feel like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I feel like that's how we've been in this space, just because no fault of ours. It's really just the volatility of the price action, and so let's get into it here. Looks like we have picked up some stamina a little bit on this buy pressure run that we are in currently on the hour chart, right? So it looks like we were about to close that out with kind of an uptick here. We'll see if we can continue and maybe start another leg. That would be great. But I'm not going to count that just yet until we kind of pass this local high right here, right? So we need to get at least above that 110 300, I would say. Maybe get to 110 5 600, and then continue, like start another leg up, basically, right? And so you can see the MACD looks decent. I'd like to see this be a little bit more aggressive on the fast line, pointing more straight up. Obviously, the stochastics needs to get back to overbought territory, but being an extension of where we kind of are right now, I'm not too sure. That's why I need a little bit extra, confidence to say, okay, this will be kind of a hyper extended buy pressure. Because if it's just extended for a little bit, I don't really care, right? I want to see something that's going to break us above maybe like 111, 112. Then that would be nice, because that would be an official leg, in my opinion, starting again here. Let's take a look here at support and resistance, see if there's anything significant. And we are going back to, let's go right here. 5 a.m. Okay, I like it. At the level we're at right now is barely above 110. Volume isn't super great. It's pretty low here, but and it's pretty balanced, right? So unless some big whales come in and drop some big bids, I don't really see us. That's probably a little bit back and forth, right? But if we can push up above this, there isn't really anything above that, right? If you look below, it's just really going from this area, what is this, 110 150 down to 109 700. It's really low volume, right? So like I said, getting some larger bids, pushing it up, that can get us going there. But hey, look, at least it's not sell pressure that we're in right now. We just don't have super dominant buy pressure right now. So that makes me think that this isn't really going to be a super extended buy session. But who knows? Maybe that changes. That can change, at a drop of a hat. So we'll see if that happens. But yeah, overall, not bad. Let's see if we can continue this uptrend, or if we kind of swing it back to the downside. But it does feel good to be above 110. you know, that feels good to be back above 110. We'll see if we can maintain that. The 4-hour chart looks like it wants to go into buy pressure. I feel like this is a pretty good setup for the 4-hour, right? So that gives me some hope for that 1 hour. If that's, you know, maybe we are going to try to work our way back up here for in the 4-hour, but maybe there's a little cup. Maybe a little cup here, and we get a little start that handle to pop back up. I don't know. We need a couple more candles, in my opinion, to get at least some sort of picture formed, if that's going to be the case here. But right now, it does look like it wants to start some buy pressure. So maybe we skip that handle and we just go to the upside. So the hour chart's going to give us more information to kind of play out here. But it seems like it wants to go into the positive, like some sort of uptrend. But it is very, very weak right now, in my opinion. So let's give it some time there. Let's look at the daily. So the daily, man, it's like this extended deformed claw down here that wants to go to the upside. We'll see if we can get that. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to see this fast line kind of close up here, pull up to the upside. Now, remember, tomorrow can be very volatile. We got CPI, we got, Trump talking later today, and then we have the options closing, right? So if we get, volatility to the upside, though, because let's say CPI comes in really good, options are pushing to the upside because a lot of the larger whales have more of the call options than put options, right? Then we could see this really come out of the sell pressure and start a buy pressure session. We could actually see that as soon as late tomorrow, if that's the case. If the conditions kind of push us towards that, right? Obviously, if we get the opposite, then this will stay open and extended. So something to keep your eye on. If you're always wondering, hey, how can I tell if maybe this next week is going to be how it's going to be? What I do is I open the daily chart and I look at the MACD here. It's not always going to be 100% right, but it can give you some indication of where we are. Like when we were dark red here and on the daily chart, and we were still showing kind of the candles like that. We didn't have any breakdown at all of this MACD indicator here. I was just kind of like, look, I mean, it still wants to it wants to sell down still until we see that. So that is something that I use. Maybe it'll help you guys out as well. Let's get into Ethereum. Same kind of story, just a slower development, right? Extension on the hour, just like Bitcoin, a little bit weaker, I feel like, but still kind of there. Actually, the candle looks pretty decent too, like very, very similar to Bitcoin here. So kind of same thesis, right? It's do we have this continuation here, or do we kind of go back and to the other side of the pendulum, right? Do we swing to the other side and start that sell pressure again? So we will know very soon based on what Bitcoin wants to do, because right now Bitcoin is leading. Also, one thing about Bitcoin, we talk about Benjamin Cohen quite a bit because he's really good at the dominant side of things. Let's see if maybe Bitcoin does want to really be aggressive to the upside on dominance, because that's something to look out for. That's the start of a rebound, in my opinion. But yeah, let's take a look at the 4-hour. Very similar story. Setup's good. Wants to come out. Wants to start heading up to the overbought territory on stochastics. Same thing on the MACD. So very similar to Bitcoin in the daily. Same thing, right? We just need that further conviction from Bitcoin to kind of get out, and then Ethereum will slowly tell that. So that is what we got for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's take a quick look here at the crypto bubbles. Co-AI is still killing it. It is up about 37% today from being up yesterday. Man, this thing's got to be like, what's going on here? $3 billion market cap, ranked 37. The new stuff on BNB, man, it's like crazy, right? How high?
It's on multiple too. It's not just on BNB, right? So it's multi-chain.
Is it a Binance supported project? Is that why? Because I could have sworn I saw something about that. Maybe not. But anyways, Co-AI is still rocking and rolling there. And then you got Hyperliquid coming up here about 10%. You got Monero up 4.6% there. Would you ever look at Monero as an opportunity?
I would use it. I wouldn't hold it as an investment.
Yeah. I'm curious because privacy, obviously, something that has been back in the headlines there, but it seems to be not heavily like there's not like a big cult behind it. You know what I mean? That like loves it and all that stuff. So you got Aster pulling back up. This is a rebound for all the people that have been getting wrecked with Aster. It's pulled up about 5% here. Plasma still pulling back. It's down 6.5%. Mutable X pulling back 2.4%. You got Hex pulling back 1.6%. Ethereum pulling up 0.9%. Solana up 3.8%. Pump token up 1.3%. You got Dogecoin up 1.7%. Aerodrome up 1.3%. Aerodrome is pretty much the DEX for the base chain. They're really bought into Aerodrome there. BNB up 4.4%. That is good for BNB holders. Back to 1130. It was kind of teasing, maybe breaking below 1,000, but back up here. And of course, lovely Bitcoin up 1.3% there. Let's take a look here at the top 200. The top 200, we got Jasmine up 8.7%. A Pepe up 9.2%. So some of the memes definitely pulling back, but a meme that's not are pulling up. A meme that's not pulling up is Farcoin pulling back 1.7%. You got Cheems also pulling back 3.6%. PulseX pulling back 3%. No surprise here. You got Hex pulling back as well on that first page we were looking at. So that whole ecosystem kind of pulling back. Dog with Hat pulling up 1.4%. Toshi token pulling up 3.1%. You got Core DAO pulling back 1.2%. And Zora had a pretty good couple days. It is pulling back here 2.1% on the day. Some other notable ones: Meme Coin useless, that's on Bonk, pulled back 6.5%. Dash Coin pulling back 6.5% as well. And then Mix, which is a perps and leverage DEX on BSC, pulling back 0.7% after having a couple good days. You got Merlin token pulling back 0.6%, or pulling up 0.6%, and then Starknet pulling up 1.2%. So that's pretty much the crypto bubbles, along with Bitcoin and Ethereum's price action for you guys on the day. Stay level-headed, because we know that tomorrow can be just the opposite, right? We need to have some consistent back-to-back days. But hey, for the day, I guess, enjoy the win.
100%, man. Let's kind of get into today's roll call here. We take the first comment of the day and we pop it on a spreadsheet. That first comment of the day is my man Webdro. Congratulations to you, Webdro. I was curious, did that fix the problem with the comments for you when you
yeah, it did. It did.
Okay,
yep,
cool.
Yep.
So shout out to Webdro. Congratulations to you, my friend. You have win number 52, back-to-back days. Congratulations. For sure. And then we got my man Arita. Arita says, could also be an announcement about buying quantum stocks by Trump today. The U.S. government prints money first, then sells bonds. That is not true. That's not true, Arita. So basically, the government, they do not print the money first because they get the money from the bond buyers, right? So the money is actually never printed. What they do is they basically create the bonds and then get the money, and then they basically the money that is printed is actually just printed to pay the interest and stuff like that. So that's literally how public fiat finances works for sovereign currency issuers. Yeah, I mean, you could be right. I got to do more research into it, but from my understanding, and I read a few books on it, is about, that's how they print the money to pay back the bonds. Webdro again. Hydro Sapien is here. Merlin's lucky. ASAP Benji. Bitcoin is truth. My guy. Abstract. Chips and Dip is here. What's up, guys? What's up, Chip and Dip? Vader Time says he's boredom. Says boredom here. K99 says ugh. Ryan says, what's up, dude? Appreciate you. Stan is here, followed by Crypto Decoded. Shout out to Ryan for the comments, man. Really appreciate you. He says to subscribe and share, everyone. Let's all learn together. We are in the right place. Awesome channel. Great guys. Thanks you, man. Appreciate you. So multiple OGs need to be able to take profits. Tim Baker, my guy, followed by Chief Axel is here, the legendary one. Rick G again. Malam Yuri, first time in a while. I appreciate you. He said bloodbath for days, here for life. I'd love that for sure. Myself says the pioneers of crypto, the cypherpunks, highly value privacy coins. See, the only problem I have with privacy coins is I know the cartel is rumored to use them, right? It's like a big bust cartel bust could lead to a big confiscation of these tokens, and then I don't think the government's going to hold on to these tokens. They're probably going to dump them into the market as soon as they get them. That's the only thing that scares me, and why I wouldn't consider holding privacy coins as an investment, because they're not going to be like Bitcoin and just kind of hold them.
Yeah.
Cash Cats is here with the coffee and the donuts and the dog. Go to the moon. Shout out to Cash Cats. Appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate every single one of you guys who makes roll call each and every day. Absolutely amazing. You want to try our rare sats Dom? Say his name and he appears. You think he's gonna appear today?
Well, I mean, to be honest, like I know that you got rid of yours, but I still have my black uncommons. I have my and I started getting into the years. I have like some early years uncommon sats, so they are very rare, and they're part of the rare sat collection. There, let's see if that happens. You summon
Are they
him.
rare though, or is there one every block?
One every 100,000 blocks.
No, it's seriously.
Why did you think I wanted to find someone that could make them fungible? Because like if you think about it, like okay, 800 or damn, like I don't even know what block we're on because I'm thinking about like when we were constantly in there. So you're talking probably like 950,000, or is that where we're at right now? Okay,
we're getting there. Yeah.
So you have below 1 million in total token supply of something that's cool. If you can make them fungible, and a lot of them, people are just holding on. Hey, there he is, Uncommons 2009, bro. You don't know how much I appreciate you. Like the fact that like he just like drops that in there at a whim, bro. That's like amazing. I appreciate that.
I think that's Corey, bro. I think Rare Sats Dom is Corey.
Maybe.
Shout out to Rare Sats Dom. Shout out to Corey, man. Still kicking. I actually
still kicking.
Well, come on. I mean, it's hard, dude. Like
it is hard.
You know what I mean? To run a marketplace, and I'm sure the transactions aren't there, but you know, you're paying every month to kind of keep that thing alive. So I mean,
but that's 100%. What I mean. About the people that are passionate about like, look, I get that he had a business and he's making money from the business, but like people that weren't passionate and they only created a business for a business, they would have been gone a long time ago. You know what I mean? So the fact that he is passionate about the collectability of the rare sat industry and all that stuff, you know, that speaks volumes in my opinion. You know, so that's how you get those collectible communities to form. And he's definitely a big part of it. Corey is.
Yeah, 100%. I just you know, there's 16 people that are collecting, right? So this community is just so small, right? I mean, can it get bigger eventually later? Yeah, but for right now, I just feel like that same money in like an AI play, that same exact money you have in your common sats in an AI play could like 100x. Like
I think
that's my problem.
But it's a different audience. It's a different mentality of person. It's like in the beginning of Magic cards, like there was a small group of people collecting those, and everybody's like, they're weird. You know what I mean? And like 30 years later, they're millionaires that are weird. You know what I mean? Because they held on to those Magic cards. So I think it's a different. And I'm not saying that Magic is not like that doesn't happen all the time. I get that, but like, and that wasn't even the reason they got into Magic cards. Those people in the beginning, they were literally trying to be like, you know, what's it called, LARPing type of, you know. I'm not saying they were doing that with the Magic cards, but you get what I'm saying. That's the whole mentality, is like live action role playing or whatever, right? And so I don't know, that maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't.
Yeah, I see that, and I'm just like, those guys who bought the Magic cards then, if they would have bought Apple stock instead, they'd be billionaires with that same amount of money. You know what I mean? Like, so Apple Magic cards came out in 92, 94. You would have bought Apple stock in 92, 94.
But that wasn't their objective wasn't to get rich.
What? Everyone's objective should be to get rich.
No, but that wasn't the main objective for them to get into Magic cards. You know, so they were getting into it because they were playing them, and they were like, you know, like really passionate about that. And so that's what I'm saying. It's a different audience.
Yeah, a world that I guess I just won't understand. I guess my only goal in life is to get rich. I don't know what happens after that though. Like, there's no goal after getting $10 million. Like, but yeah, we'll see. All right. So, okay, another company went down. BNB chain paid messaging platform ReachMe has announced its operations are done, with all services permanently shut down. Previously, CZ used ReachMe to receive private messages charging 1 BB BNB per message before later reducing it to 0.08. So this was a way for basically say, hey, if you really want to reach me, I will 100% see your message, but you got to pay 1 BNB. So don't waste my time. But it's going forever.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, as of right now, it's probably not too bad of a payment. If you really have something important to say to him, but maybe
Yeah.
in 10 years, no one's going to pay that.
Well, he lowered it when it
Oh,
skyrocketed to over $1,000. So
okay.
he lowered it after that. So, but like, I don't know. I thought it was a great idea. It's just not being used. There's no reason to contact CZ right now. I mean, I would contact them. I would pay the BNB for like an open chat with them, right? Wouldn't you?
Yeah, probably just to experience it, I guess. But like, does he need
No,
money?
but if
But
you
I
had an
guess,
idea, if you were just like, hey, I have this project, I just wanted your opinion on it. I don't want you to invest in it. I don't want nothing. I just want to know if it's worth continuing. I'll pay the 1 BNB for your advice.
yeah. I'd probably do it. Yeah, but I guess like it's kind of like the situation of like making spammers pay like gas fees or something. I remember there was like some idea
Yeah.
in Bitcoin for that, but this
Mhm.
is like a larger amount of money, of course. But you're also trying to get to CZ. Well, like, do you think he goes through all of those? And how much BNB do you think he's made? Like, he doesn't need money.
Well, I think for him, it's just don't waste my time.
Yeah,
Right. Like if he would have put it at like 0.1, he would probably have 100 messages to look through. And people want to get
but
mad if you don't look at
but
them. I
people are
paid
still
this
gonna
money.
waste
Why
his
didn't you
time.
see it?
People are still gonna waste his
Yeah,
time.
but now you get $1,000 for it. Like 1,000. Let's
I
just
guess
say it
so.
takes them 5 minutes. You made $1,000 at 5 minutes,
Oh my
right? So
God. Someone $80 billion net worth making $1,000 a minute. That's crazy.
I mean, it's at
He can
least it's
do it
worth
though,
it,
right?
And then he can give it to his friends. Like, hey, you got this free BNB. You can take it. Go ahead. But yeah, Robinhood lists the hype token today. Now available to trade on Robin. They listed Aster. They listed B. No, they didn't list Aster. They listed BNB. But yeah, so Aster is rumored to be next. But yeah, Robinhood seems to be leading the listing game right now. Because you can't buy this on Coinbase, you can't buy it on Binance, but you can buy it on Robinhood.
Yeah, that's awesome that hype is listed there. I wonder what's the next Western centralized exchange that's going to list them. But Hyperliquid is, I'm curious of your thesis on them still. Do you feel like they're still going to go down at some point? I kind of think that I'm pretty confident that they look solid at this point.
Yeah, the Aster thing was I think pretty big
Help
in
them.
the sense helped them tremendously because now Binance doesn't want to destroy them because if they can figure out a way to destroy them, they can figure out the way to destroy themselves, right? So for me, it's like, I mean, they could still go after them, but at the same time, I just think it's Binance is like, we'll just do our own now, so we don't. So there is a few things that could destroy Hyperliquid, the KYC thing. I think the U.S. government ever got a new person in charge, and then they get the SEC to kind of go after them hard and say, you guys aren't fully decentralized. We're going to come at your centralized points, and we're going to shut that part down. I don't know, but it's one of those things where I can see Hyperliquid one day potentially, relinquishing the site and just saying, hey, anyone can use our back end for their own site. Like I can see them going that way one day, just a sense of kind of getting out of, anyone's point of view, right? Just like, hey, you
Well,
can use our back
they're
end and our liquidity.
yeah, they're kind of doing that already, but for a
They are
different reason. For a different reason, it's more of like to decentralize the what was it? The was it
validators.
yeah, so is it the validators or something to do with like making sure that situation doesn't happen kind of again that happened on Friday? They want to
Yeah.
decentralize the liquidity in a sense, in a way. Most of it's going to be coming from them, but you have to also hold like a crazy amount of Hyperliquid. I forgot, it's 100,000, I think.
Yeah, 100,000 Hyperliquid, you stake it, but then you become a validator, right? Which you have to run your own validator. You have to stake. So you have to run your own validator when you're staking this. And on top of that, like they're not worried about like listing every coin anymore because now you can have other places listing that coin as well. So they're not taking on the responsibility of having these low, but if you want to, go ahead. But they don't want the responsibility of holding them. So that's kind of what they're just kind of taking away the finger. You can't point the finger at them. So they're a bad guy when it's technically not them.
Yeah. And also, that's a great business model because they're gonna get always get their little slice of fees, but then whoever uses their back end or whatever, they're gonna be able to determine what their fees are and stuff. So it's smart because they're basically just creating little salesmen with that, and then offloading risk for higher risk tokens, and you're gonna have some probably super degen style stuff that you can leverage on. So
100%. All right. All right. Next thing's interesting. Well, not really. It's actually pretty lame, but welcome to the new Arch, a sharper visual, stronger voice, and a better feel to make real Bitcoin finally programmable. You cannot make Bitcoin programmable on layer 1. But what Arch is trying to do is they're trying to roll up transactions and put those transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain. But yeah, this is the rebrand. They just went from black to orange. Seems a little bit not
a nothing burger.
It's kind of just like, remember us, we're still here. How do you feel about this orange rebrand?
I mean, I think it's Bitcoin. I think they're trying to just align with Bitcoin with that orange rebrand, right? And it gives them something to put out in the news, but it's not. I do think it's more of a nothing burger. But hey, look, for their community, maybe they like it. At the end of the day, everybody's obviously waiting on something in terms of like a launch date, right? And they're just not going to get that, I don't think. Until maybe it's like super imminent. But yeah, hey, congratulations on the rebrand. Marketing is my background, so I can appreciate marketing. And they're really going in on the marketing, by the way. They have like shirts and stuff on that video.
I doubt they're selling the shirts. It's just I
don't know. Look at it. Look at them. They're
like
like hoodies and stuff like that too. So, but maybe there's a little bit more to the rebrand than we've seen. I don't know.
I went through it. I went to their new website. It looks like the old one, except there's now orange and stuff. So I don't really know. It doesn't seem. It just seems like they just needed to. They wanted to do something, and they just chose to do this. But I think so. I think the mistake. I mean, we were talking beforehand. The mistake here of this rebrand should just change it without any type of announcement, right?
Or just a regular
change the color of your logo. Like, yeah, I don't know, but they're bringing it out as like, we're gonna drop our manifesto. Just wait until you drop your at least your test net again, right? Or like, I don't know, like wait till you launch, wait till you go live, and then that's when you can start really kind of picking things up. Right now, it's kind of just like, I'm at the point now, and I've said this multiple times, I'm tired of hearing it's coming. Not just with them too. I'm not talking about Spark as well. I'm talking about pretty much anything. I'm tired of hearing that your project is coming. Just drop it or shut the up, right? Just go away. Just go away until it's time, right? I understand you have investors, you want to keep that, but this is just a logo markup. And I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But this just seems like it's just a hey, we just wanted to make some noise. So I got excited when I saw that they're doing like their new stuff, but I'm looking into it. I'm just like, this is kind of no.
Well, maybe it's a warm up and for another announcement about like a different approach that they might be taking or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean,
they know they have competition. That's for sure. Because I don't think they were expecting the Spark ecosystem to have all these kind of promises and stuff like that. And there's a lot of players and stuff in the Bitcoin ecosystem that are excited about Spark. So I expect some sort of like announcement of launch. I would imagine soon, maybe like in the next month and a half or something.
I mean, Spark's mainnet's technically launched, right? They're still working on getting everything else up and running. They did launch and crashed and burned, and then they came back and said, we'll just have a few tokens on here and stuff like that. And but we'll see. But I would love for Spark Arch to at least launch something, even if it's just mainnet and it's just like a swap, right? Even if the stuff's not really running on it yet, because I just want to see if it works. What they're trying to do with this rolling up and putting on Bitcoin, it's nearly impossible from my understanding. So I can't wait. I mean, it's not easy. They're not just coming out with a blockchain and saying, "Oh yeah, we're a Solana fork." Like that's not it. They're trying to roll up this just Solana transactions from the fork and put them, on Bitcoin. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and there's like multiple people trying to do this approach, middle, obviously trying to do it with an EVM tech stack instead of SVM. So the good thing is multiple people trying it. So we'll see. It's a higher percentage with multiple people trying it than just one.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Fluid tokens. Our good friends over at Fluid, no longer a partner of ours, makes me sad, but they actually just launched a new Billy thing. How do you feel about this? They got rid of the rewards thing, which is weird. I don't know why. Maybe is that my end or is that maybe I'm just not saying? I don't know. But yeah, so they just launched this Billy Cat. You can now stake your Billy to earn Billy. If you're interested in that, rewards unlock on December 25th, Christmas Day. So, and vault closes in 18 days. So, if you are interested in that, you can get involved.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always excited about a Billy type of staking situation. I wish they would do the Billy Cats one. That would be cool.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and then the last thing I have here, I have one more thing after this, but Aave DAO is considering a $50 million yearly Aave buyback plan funded by the protocol revenue to boost token value and reinforce Aavenomics. So right now, if you stake your Aave, you get part of the revenue. They want to actually take 50 million of that and use that to buy back the token itself. How do you feel about this new area of crypto where it's like these guys just want to come back and just buy their own token up, brings the price up. It shows you that they're bullish on themselves because they do want to. I just don't know where this. If you're a decentralized protocol, does it go to the foundation? Does the foundation now hold this? I don't know. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, they're basically committing a $50 million buyback based on the revenue, right? So I'm sure there's certain thresholds of goals that have to hit. It is from the decentralized protocol, and it goes into the all the decentralized protocols still go into the main wallet in terms of the fee wallet, right? So they can do with that whatever they want, So
Well, it goes to the stakers, so it'll just go. So there's if you're staking the Aave token, for governance, you basically get right now you're getting the fees.
yeah, so they're gonna do
the
they're gonna do a vote, obviously, because it says that
yeah.
Aave DAO is considering it. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, holders probably want something like this, I would imagine. And if you can afford 50 million a year, I think that's huge, right? So it shows strength if they can
You're taking
afford.
that though from the stakers. It's not like it's coming from anywhere. Normally it would just go to the stakers, and now it's kind of going to, buying back the token for the foundation.
Yeah, maybe it's to kind of get the price to look really strong to get some larger investors, institutional
Yeah.
investors as well that aren't staking. So that could be a part of it. I'm not sure exactly why they would want to do this, but obviously they feel like there's a benefit that could benefit the entire ecosystem, or they wouldn't, present it.
I feel like this benefits the foundation. You know what I mean? Because now they're getting $50 million a year in free tokens, technically, that aren't going to the revenue stakers. Obviously, they're probably one of the biggest revenue stakers, right? So the foundation itself. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. I kind of feel I'm on the ropes with this.
Oh,
Yeah.
because they're gonna be buying back the tokens, so they're gonna be holding them. Basically, is what you're
Mhm.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that
Like
part
who's
needs to
holding
have.
them? Unless you burn
That
them.
Yeah, that part needs to have more clarity. If they burn them, then probably good. Or yeah,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure that they're going to have information on what happens. But yeah, foundations. We see what happens with the ETH Foundation. Whenever they're in a tight spot, they just sell down the ETH,
Dump
right?
on the market. Exactly. Fidelity now allows U.S. brokerage customers to buy Sol. So now if you have a Fidelity account and you can now buy real Solana, obviously you can't withdraw it or anything, but Fidelity seems to be leading the charge here right now. You don't need to buy a Sol ETF anymore. Now they're actually listing real cryptocurrencies on the site. Obviously, they're going to custodian for you. But how do you feel about this? Rumor has it that they want to eventually convert this into an ETF, but right now you can just buy Solana right through your Fidelity account.
Wow, that's big, right? Fidelity is obviously a huge player in TradFi, and so I think this is a statement by them saying, "Hey, look, we're pro digital assets, and if you're interested in this, then come over here. We'll walk you through it." Again,
Yeah.
Vanguard is the second largest, management fund management firm, and they're not doing anything yet. So Fidelity has an opportunity, in my opinion, to probably start to win over some, TVL that they're managing, right? Because it's clear right now BlackRock's number one and Vanguard's number two. Fidelity is probably somewhere in that top 5, I imagine.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that Fidelity is going to, I think, in my opinion, they're going to be like number 2. But BlackRock, I think, they'll be number 1 forever because they are pro crypto. But I do think Fidelity will be number 2, and then Vanguard, I don't know if they don't start adopting crypto soon. I think they're going to be 6th or 7th in like the next 10, 20 years. Not anytime soon, obviously, but in the next 10, 20 years.
Yeah, because there's a pretty big discrepancy, I think, from there's not that big from BlackRock and Vanguard that I last checked. I want to say it's maybe like 1 trillion, which that's a lot of money, but you're talking about 13 to 12 trillion, and then the next drop off in number 3, I want to say, is like 7. So that's why
Fidelity's
I say that
6th. Yeah,
the discrepancy, or the difference in number 1 and number 2 is way tighter than number 3 is last time I saw.
Yeah, I actually want to look into that because that's really interesting. I think obviously BlackRock has.
The last time I checked, though, I want to say is probably like early this year. But if BlackRock was number 2 or 1, Vanguard was number 2.
Yeah, so I just asked ChatGPT. It's giving me now. It said BlackRock is the world's largest. So BlackRock has 11.
Okay. So it was off by 2 trillion.
The next 5. All right, so it's giving me the next 5. So BlackRock's sitting there with 11.6. And then it says Vanguard Group is number 2. Fidelity is number 3. Vanguard, it's not how much.
Yeah, I wonder how much of an effect the ones that are pro digital assets are going to have with their growth, because like I said, it's last time I checked, it was pretty close between number 1 and number 2, and that number 3 spot was where it dropped off a decent amount.
Yeah, you're right. So I said 11 million for BlackRock, Vanguard 10 million. So you're right, right there. 10 trillion, yeah. And then Fidelity is 5.3.
Wow, I was pretty damn close. Literally, I was
off
by 2 trillion on each of them. So if you just move it down 2 trillion, then I pretty much got it to almost to a T.
Yep. Followed by State Street at 4.3, Morgan Stanley at 3.6, and JP Morgan at 3.4. So it's right there. But I do think Fidelity actually catches up to Vanguard in the next 10 years.
A lot of money, but they can probably do it if Vanguard doesn't, get on board.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Bitcoin's a $2 trillion asset. What happens if Bitcoin's a $20 trillion asset in 20 years, right? That means, they just potentially added 2 trillion just from the Bitcoin area. So,
yeah.
All right. That's our show, guys. Really appreciate you guys hanging with us today. 154 over on X, 27 on YouTube. Appreciate you guys, man. I know it's hard right now. I know it's hard to pay attention. I was telling you this morning, I was like, back in 2020, back in 2022, and everything after Terra Luna, I got, I used to listen to podcasts every single day from August of 2020 until about, February or March of 2022. Every day was podcasts, every single day. And then eventually I started reading books and stuff. I got so bored of just bad news that I started reading all these books, and really started Audible, and downloaded this other one, and really stopped, took a step away from crypto. And obviously, in 2023, we put the boots on heavy and we got hard with it. But yeah, so it's one of those things where I understand where you guys are at, right now, when you guys are tuning out a little bit and stuff. But I think it is time to lock in. I think understanding where we are in the cycle, and maybe even this cycle hasn't even started yet, and we're on the bottom floor of what could be a 60 floor cycle, right? Of just the next, who knows, 12, 14, 16 months potentially. we could have of a bull market, because we've had that in a bear market. Why can't we go the other way and have that in a bull market, especially when we're having all this new companies and legislation and all this stuff kind of saying, hey, we're now in an area of this is, going to be a right translated cycle that lasts all the way to 2027. And then who knows, we could have a left translated cycle in 2028 to where it peaks in early 2028, right? And then we have a bear market in 2029 and 30. I could see something like that happening. I could see potentially a 4-year bear market. 4-year bull market in the next, couple years. But, to get there, we got to go through times like this. But I'm just glad you guys are still rocking with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Something that you achieve great, you have to go through the bumps, right? And that's kind of what we're going through right now. So we appreciate each and every one of you guys for supporting us and watching us even during the slow times. A great show out today, and a great show, by the way. Good job, Shizzy. And in terms of the interaction was fun today. Got to crack up a lot. But we appreciate each and every one of you guys. Without you guys, we could not do this. I always want to emphasize that. So we're grateful for that. But also without our partners, we couldn't do it. So if you could check them out, we would be greatly appreciative. Sats Terminal is the DEX aggregator swap for the entire Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to swap for Bitcoin runes, alkanes, or now Sparks tokens, you got to do it at satsterminal.com. Why? Because first of all, on the Spark side, that's going to be coming up very soon, in my opinion. They have multiple meme coin launch pads that Sats Terminal is going to be aggregating from. So you want one-stop shop to be able to get those tokens in their early days. Also, you'll earn Amber points, and Amber points are going to go towards a give back for early adopters of the platform. And if you connect your wallet for the very first time, you get a bonus of Amber points. So make sure you take advantage of that for sure. Also, they have an amazing Bitcoin borrowing product. You can borrow against your Bitcoin, so you don't have to sell it down, that precious Bitcoin. You can take out stable coins against it and buy more Bitcoin if you feel like it's going to run up, or get into maybe some of these Sparks projects as well. So you decide what you want to do with it. But I think the biggest thing and objective is not to sell your Bitcoin, as it still has that trajectory to the upside, right? So head over to satsterminal.com and check them out, and follow them on their X account as well, at satsterminal. And then Emblem Vault is the interoperability layer of the Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to jump your Bitcoin ordinals, Bitcoin NFTs like Rare Pepes and NFTs like that over to Ethereum, you got to use Emblem Vault. It's a very easy process. We did it. We've done a tutorial on that. So go check it out in our YouTube channel library. But yeah, you can actually take a loan out against your Taproot Wizard right now on the Gandhi application, which is the largest borrowing and lending NFT application on Ethereum. And they're going to open it up to different chains as well. And different EVM layer 2s and also SVM as well. So check that out, as they're going to be on Solana as well in the future. And speaking of Solana, they have the best AI product in the Solana ecosystem. Agent Hustle.ai is the website to go to. You can actually use Hustle to help you find solid plays in the Solana ecosystem. He'll break down reasons why he thinks that these are solid plays. Also, there's a conditional trading engine built in Hustle, so you can utilize that to set buy and sell limit orders on these meme coins, right? Or any coin in the Solana ecosystem. There's different subscription levels. There's a free subscription level, but it is limited with tool sets. You can do the basic questions with Hustle, but if you want the good tool sets that are going to give you an edge, you got to get to the higher subscriptions, and those are paid. And you can actually use your Hustle if you have Agent Hustle token, which is the Hustle token that powers the entire Emblem ecosystem. You get a discount if you use Hustle to pay for these subscriptions. Check it out. And then there's another product within the Emblem ecosystem called migrate.fund. And basically what they do is they help you migrate from one launchpad to another in the Solana ecosystem. The way launchpads work is whenever you launch a token, there is a certain amount of liquidity that's locked up in there until, after you hit the bonding curve, right? And you build your community, you have your initial success, but then it gets stagnant and dry. And if you want to launch or migrate to another launchpad, for example, you launch on Pump and you want to migrate to Bonk, you can use migrate.funded. They'll help you do that. They'll help you get that locked liquidity out to help you get started on that new platform. Or you can just do, your own LP. You can migrate to your own LP so you can earn all the rewards from the trading fees, right? they had their first cohort, and it went really smooth. I think about 14 teams. So congratulations to them and the teams. And they're starting their second one very soon. If you want to get involved, head over to migrate.fund to ask any questions from the team, and head over to emblem.vision to learn about any of the products in the Emblem ecosystem. And then there's Merlin Chain, that's uniting Bitcoin's strength through the power of AI. They have their Wizard version 2.0 that guides you through Merlin Chain's ecosystem. It can do DeFi functionalities for you in Merlin Chain, but it also can do it outside of Merlin Chain as well. All you have to do is have some Merlin Bitcoin in your wallet, and you can trade for Solana tokens or BSC token projects as well, right? But going back to the DeFi functionalities within Merlin, it can do swaps and staking on your behalf. And speaking of staking, you can get involved with their proof of stake security model. There's 3 ways of doing that. You can stake Bitcoin to earn more Bitcoin. Everybody loves that, right? Their first staking vault finished September 30th, and they got on average 17% APR for all of their stakers in that first staking vault, which is amazing for staking Bitcoin to get more Bitcoin, right? And the second staking vault is open already. And so make sure you go check that out. They're going to shoot for around the same APR if possible. So go check that out. It is a 3-month lockup. So I think the next unlock would be January 8th, but you still can get in until it maxes out. And I think it's going to be around 150 Bitcoin. And then there's 2 options on the Merlin Chain token side. There's the flexible day-to-day, which you can claim your rewards every single day. You earn 15% APR off of the amount of Merlin tokens that are staked in there. If you do want to withdraw, there's a 7-day cooldown period with the flexible staking option, right? So just know that. And then there's the bonded option, which is a 6-month lockup option. You earn 45% APR. Same thing, though. You can claim your rewards daily, roll that up into a compound interest strategy there. And that's pretty much it in terms of the staking options, right? So great staking options there. This team is crushing it. Check them out on merlinchain.io. Follow them on X as well. And so because they're going to have some big updates in the future. We appreciate you guys checking out our partners.
Yep. Great job, man. As always, you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out OnChainRevolution.io. Some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entering the space, send them our website. We really feel like it can help them get started and code up to where we are today. Brand new article just dropped this week, Crypto Outlook, Why the Next 90 Days Could Ignite the Parabolic Bull Run. Definitely want to check this out if you haven't yet. They're about 3 to 4 minute reads. You can knock them out very quickly, one by one, and really get caught up to see what is happening. If you need a VPN, we got you. We have a great deal with the VPNs right now. You can get 27 months for $3 a month. You basically get the 3 months free, so you're only paying for the 24. So you're locking it in for like $66 for 2 years. Set it, forget it. Now you can use stuff like Hyperliquid. Now you can use stuff like even MEXC. I love MEXC. I use it almost every day because that's my bridge. If I want to go from Bitcoin to Solana, it's honestly the cheapest way. If you're using Coinbase to kind of convert your assets, you're losing a lot of money. Don't do it. Use MEXC. If you need a VPN, here it is for you guys. This VPN as well is a 30-day money-back guarantee. So they're guaranteeing you're going to love it. So if you do lock it in for 2 years, you don't like it, you can get your money back. So definitely check it out if you're interested. And, I think you should be. Everyone should have a VPN. Remember, VPNs are not illegal. They are very legal. Privacy is a right. And then you guys can check out some merch stuff. We have some of the best merch in all the crypto: hats, shirts, jacket, and much more. You guys can check everything out here at OnChainRevolution.io. Remember, guys, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain Revolution, roll call, market recap. You're not bullish enough, no. You're not bullish enough, no. Look at the price go, Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain Revolution.